The last women's jumping event has S.A. Broomer, a former big champion from Africa. She's jumped over 7 meters this season. That's really far. She has a good chance to win gold for Nigeria. Alina Machado is from Romania, and she's the national champion. She really loves the crowd cheering for her. She came 9th at the World Indoor Championships last year. That was a great entrance, one of the best we've seen so far. Marnie Beck-Romanchuk got European silver last year. She's also the World Student Games champion. She jumped 674 in the practice round. She's really talented and has 2 last names. Nastasia Midin-Shaka-Varnovat is an older athlete who got bronze 8 years ago. She got European indoor silver this year. She jumped 669 in practice. She got Commonwealth silver last year and was 6th 2 years ago in London, making a good mark. Brooke Stratton was here in Doha at the Diamond League meet. She'd love to do that well again. The favorite, without any question, is Malavika Nhambo, the European champion. She's jumped over 7 meters at 6 different competitions this year. Shaquila Saunders just barely made it into the final with 653. She got Pan American Games bronze, and she's really good when she's at her best. She thinks she can be in the mix for medals. So will the silver medalist from 4 years ago, Shara Proctor. She got Commonwealth and European bronze last year. She moved from Anguilla, the Caribbean island, back in 2010. Anastasia Nguyen has jumped 11:43 this year for the 100 meters. She's the national champion in both 100 meters and long jump for Hungary. She jumped 654 in practice. Shin Iacute. S. Porter is twice a national champion. She made the Pan Am final last year. She jumped 657 in practice. Torre Bowie was world champion too, years ago in the 200 meters. She didn't think she was in good enough shape to defend her title, so she didn't run the 100-meter semifinals. But she's in this final and wants gold. Last but definitely not least is the young woman who quit a couple times and came back, Abigail Emis. She's back to her very best now. She jumped 617 in practice. Could she surprise everyone and get a medal? No Brittany Reese in this final, by the way. She finished 13th place. That's a real shock. The American was the defending champion and one of only 3 this season who had jumped over 7 meters. Even without the American, this could be a great final. Nhambo is the clear favorite for gold. Cy Bloomer is a 23-year-old Nigerian hoping to become Nigeria's first female world long jump champion since Chioma Ogran won the Olympic title back in Atlanta in 1996. Blessing Okagbare, who we saw competing earlier in the sprints, has had a couple medals at world championships and Olympics, but no gold for Nigerian women in this event since 1996. She jumped 689 in practice yesterday. She was second best getting through, just behind Malavika Nhambo. Nhambo had a 698 dot. Now what a way this would be to start if she could launch a big one and shake things up, as they say. The last women's field event final is starting here. She goes the 23-year-old Nigerian with huge support from the crowd on the far side. And that is a big jump. That is a very, very good start from Say Broomer. She's perfect on the board, but what a way to get comfortable in a competition where she really wants gold. Well, she could do it. A few more inches on the board, but it's a lovely, solid first jump. That was classy. How close to 7 meters? 683, an excellent first jump from Broomer. So Beck-Romanchuk, European silver medalist? Well, she likes that. We saw Cy Bloomer start this final with an excellent 683, and that also is not too far from the 7-meter line. Beck-Romanchuk's season best is 685. She's coming here in good form after winning the World Student Games title. 681. She's up to second place early on. Now, Malivika Nohambo, 6 different times this season, she has jumped 7 meters or better. She would love to launch a big one in the first round. She's way behind the board, and that's probably why she's slightly disappointed with that one. Yeah, it's really important to just get a safe one in, as they say. On the first one, we can see how fast she is on that runway. Now she's worked really hard on her sprint technique. Oh, but look at that. She's half a meter away. Well, she does get really high off that board, even though obviously she was nowhere near the takeoff point. But wow, 652. If you think about how far away she was, that's in the 7 meter territory right away. And she doesn't look very happy at the moment. She just need a big second round to settle her down a little. Shaquila Saunders, the Pan American bronze medalist from a few years ago, is hoping to soak up the atmosphere from the crowd. There she goes. Yeah, she goes on the runway. Yeah, and I think that's going to be a red flag again. And another person with a really good 100-meter personal best is Shara Proctor, silver medalist 4 years ago. She too seems to be enjoying getting the crowd fired up. So many East Africans on that far side of the stadium are ready for the 1,500 and 10,000 meters . So Shara Proctor there, she starts her world championship campaign. Oh, and it's a big one. If that's the right flag, that's going to be a red flag. It is. Well, Shara Proctor has this really good skill of doing her best when she needs it most. I can think back to Beijing 4 years ago. She went all the way out to 7 meters and 7. Well, it's around 11 centimeters we can see by that graphic there. I tell you what, if she could actually get a jump on the board, that was going out a long way. Shara Proctor looks like she's in really good form for this final dock. So here we've got the Hungarian athlete. Is it Nguyen? She's dropped a personal best this season, minus 677. She's a multiple Hungarian champion at long jump. This is her first world championship final. What can she do? So remember, of course, all the competitors get 3 jumps. After 3 rounds, those in 9th place and lower will get eliminated, and those first 8 will get 3 more jumps. Well, we're getting a few red flags, maybe a sign of some nerves. 3 in a row, Saunders, Proctor. Nguyen's jump was very, very big. It certainly would have been up around Brummer and Beck-Roman. Shook's marks of 683 and 681, and Nohambo is yet to really settle after her first try. Shines Porter, here we go. She's obviously such a great athlete to make this final, but she's fantastic at high jump as well. I saw her statistic. She's got 1.87 meters for high jump, so she's a really multi-talented athlete. She's jumped out to 6.75 meters this year. Well, as Porter charges down the runway, we can head down trackside to former world decathlon champion Dan O'Brien, who's been really enjoying the field events over the last 9 or 10 days. Good evening. John, what's the atmosphere like down there tonight? Well, guys, the atmosphere is great as always over here in the horizontal jumps area. This crowd area filled up first as the stadium began to fill up this evening. Lots of activity, and already your host Barber just threw a nice and easy javelin out over the 80-meter mark, and the crowd went, oh, they're ready for some long javelin throws. Here in the long jump, I'll tell you what, we've seen some red flags, but I like the way this competition has opened up already. Brummer jumps out there to an early lead, 683 to start, which is great. But you see these fouls in the first round because of the excitement level. It's not really nerves as much as it is just getting that excitement level up. You're always really just pumped up and ready to go on your first one. If anything, you've got to pull back on that excitement level and get a little more control. As you come down the runway on that first jump, once that first jump is out of the way, then you can really go to work. But if you can manage to control that excitement, you might pop a really, really big one in the first round. And what's your assessment on Nohambo? because Brumer and Beck Ramanchuk, who have hopes for gold here, they had a really good start with 683 and 681. Do you think Nuhambo looks a little tiny bit nervous? Or is it just a case of settling into her rhythm? I think it's just a case of settling into her rhythm. She did this exact same thing at the German national championships. It took her almost 6 jumps to find the board, so we've seen this from her before. It usually takes her a couple of jumps, but once she finds that board, I guarantee you she's going to pop a 7-meter jump. Torre Bowie with 661. And how likely do you think we'll keep our eye on this score here? It is. Oh, that's a fine first jump if she gets the white flag. Yes, she does. Dan, do you think it's going to take 7 meters tonight? I mean, Nahambo seems to have been jumping 7 south for fun throughout this season. Is it going to take that distance to win gold tonight? I think so. Even you and Shara Proctor, she had a big first jump. We know that she's capable. And with the throws and jumps as well, it only takes one good one. 7 meters. I'm not sure 7 meters would do it. Maybe 7 to 10, just to make sure. I imagine we're going to get a couple of athletes over 7 meters tonight. Well, let's hope so. Brilliant analysis, as always, from Dan O'Brien. We'll be hearing more from him throughout the course of this last evening. That was good minus 664. She's in 3rd place, and the woman who opened the competition with 683 on the very first jump is still in front. And bear in mind, she has jumped out to 705 this season. It wasn't that long ago. She's asking the crowd to get involved, and they would love it if she could produce a big one now and have that magical number 7 next to her name. Let's see, ... yeah. She's got a nice safe one in there, isn't she? 683, I'm pretty sure that'll guarantee. Her 6 jumps already, so now she can just relax, keep her under control, and try to launch a big one. Oh, well, that looked good on TH.